Welcome to the Lechtich Parsha podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation. Agudin Shabbos Parshas Ki Seitzei Tovshin Pehe. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a wonderful week. This week's shiur is sponsored by Reb Dovi Stro and family. Elul Nishmas of Gavril ben Reb Shimon Yehuda. May his neshama have an aliyah. May he be a yetzer for the entire mishpacha, as well as by Dr. Ruven Lappin and family. Elul Nishmas David ben Chaim Alevi. May his neshama have an aliyah. May he be a yetzer for the entire mishpacha. Thank you to our corporate sponsors, the Hassan Zaltz Law Firm, T7 Capital, Bluestone Brokerage, and Wolgamuth and Associates. For future dedications, to sponsor the Lechtich weekly publication, podcast, Torah Anytime video, the daily Mussar Shiur, please reach out to 845-367-2959. So, this week is week 2 of Elul, and every week that goes by, every week we get another week closer. Someone actually told me this week, very simple, yet very profound, which is usually the nature of simple lines. I was leaving shul, I don't know, it was like Monday, and he's like, by the way, I just want to let you know, once Elul's over, like, it's over. And it's as basic as ABC. Yes, once something is over, it's over. But when we remember the beginning, often at the end of El or at the end of Ne'ilah, we start, we want to chaparah, we want to do more. And now's the time where we're really in the middle of something tremendous. We're in the middle of something, we're in the midst of something that's life-changing, that's life-altering, that definitely has the potential, the ability, and the positive energy to do so. We're in the middle of something great. We're in the middle of something real. And what's the whole yesod of Rosh Hashanah? What are we doing? What's the idea? What's the focus as we get closer? Is it fear? Is it yira? Is it being afraid of our einshin? Is it yiras chet? Yeah, no? Are we doing kapara? Are we doing tshuva? A little bit? Preparing? So what's Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah is Malchus. That is the answer. Look in any sefer, look in the Gemaras, right? The whole yesod is Malchus. It's accepting Hashem's melucha on ourselves. That's what it's all about. Yes, we have a package, we have sins, we have transgressions that we need to atone for, that we need to kapar for. That's in Kippur. But in order to establish any feeling of remorse, of guilt, of really caring, first we have to realize that there's a melech, and that's Rosh Hashanah. So Rosh Hashanah is Malchus. So, in light of this, of Malchus, it's very interesting, because you look in this week's parsha, and a lot of times the Svarim talk about inyanim that tie into Rosh Hashanah, that tie into Yom Neraim, from the parshas that lead up to Rosh Hashanah, and from a very unexpected place, the Ben Ish Chai reveals something. Mamish, Dover B'tei Mativ. It's Mamish Ashkocher Potis. Ben Ish Chai, on this week of your sponsorship, Daniel Ben Sarah. Wow. On the parsha Ki Seitzei, the pasuk says, Ki sivne bayis chadash, when you build a new house. When you build a new house, you shall make a gag. You should make a fence. Why? One shouldn't have blood on his hands. Because someone can chas v'shalom or chuman fall off of it. So Hashem tells us, He gives us a chiyuv of putting up a maika, known as the chiyuv maika, on your roof. So it sounds like very straightforward construction type of halacha, but there's always something deeper, there's always something relevant, and the yesod is as follows. This is from the Ben Ish Chai, in the Sefer Oidos of Chai. It says something life-changing and definitely so relevant for right now. Shtei in Gemara in Sanhedrin. Let's try to keep this simple. It's a little bit of a cheshbon, but we'll try to keep it succinct and flowing and clear. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says something. Omar Ula, machshava me'elis afilu l'divrei Torah. If a person has a machshava, a thought, but not just a regular thought, a machshava, like an anxiety thought, worry, he's not sure he's going to do this, how that's going to work out, right? Things that we're always dealing with, we're always facing every single day. How is it? How could it be possible? I did this, right? So we're always plagued, we're always putting up with these thoughts. So what does Ula say? The Hilga Amira Ula. Ula machshava me'elis afilu divrei Torah. It works to destroy, it works to disturb, even divrei Torah. So it means not only Gashmias, it means not only our Yishuv Hadas, it means in our inner content, relaxation in the mind, our Menuchas HaNefesh, Menuchas HaMoyach. Not only does anxiety ruin that on a Gashmias Dika level, But even when it comes to learning Torah, when we have accomplishments, when we have things that we want to accomplish, we have things that we want to voyage out and finish, mesechtas, different things, right? Even that, says Ula, when you start worrying, you start being fadaigit, you start getting all fanumin, all the details, it's going to even disturb that process. How does he know? He brings a pasuk. The pasuk in Yoav says, "Mefir machshavos arumim v'leitesenu yedem toshia." The pasuk says he frustrates the thoughts of the crafty, so their hands can perform nothing. Which means the hara comes and he inundates us. He bombards us with machshavos and worries and what's going to be and the uncertainties and the unknown. And that can't shtim not only with our gashmis, with our well-being, but even with Toshia, which is referring to Torah. When a person's not at calm, when a person doesn't have inner peace, it doesn't shtim with Toshia, which is Torah. That's what Ula says. Okay? Look at Rashi. So this means what we have over here is that if a person wants to succeed, either in both, we all want to succeed in Ruchnius and Gashmius, you have to have inner content, inner calm, bitachon 101. And if not, then it wreaks havoc on our Yishuv Adas, and we can't learn properly, we can't make cheshbonis, we can't enjoy, nothing's going to ultimately pan out the way we want it to. What does Rashi say? So Rashi brings down something monumental. Lishna achrina, which is really what we just said. Machshava sha'adam mechashev kach v'kach. This Rashi talking about giving us mamash a mussar sefer for a mesifta bacher. A bach wants to succeed, a young man, a man, a working, whatever we are, we want to succeed, right? Adam mechashev kach v'kach ese kach v'kach taleb yadi. This is Rashi talking. I want to do this. I want to finish Yevamos this man. I want to finish learning Hilchas Nida. I want to finish Mikvais. I want to finish learning Chumash Rashi, right? Kach v'kach taleb yadi. If a person's going to have machshavas, he's going to start letting himself become bombarded and shtalzu to the tactics of the yetzer hara, it's going to work to destroy any plan. And she'ei machshavta miskayemes, says Rashi, your machshav, your thoughts are not going to come to fruition, afilu lidvar Torah, even for Torah. So you think you're being so earnest, you're being so noble, you're being so idealistic, you want to finish a mezechta. We're starting, I think, Hiris started today, MDY started today, and the Hiris, 13 days. Geshmak, let me jump in, let me get the MDY Gemara, let me, born to whoever it is, I've born into all the Gevadim, and have this plan, and it's 13 days, and you start thinking about it, how's it going to work, and today, and tomorrow, the next day, and when it's Shabbos, and that's mamash, says Rashi, that even Lidvar Torah, ki goyna omer ad yoim pleni asayim, this is Rashi in Shas, that I'm going to finish in 13 days Hiris. It's perfect. Works out. But you start thinking, and you start having cheshbonis, and you start getting worried, it's not going to work. Asayim kach v'kach mesechta. Begirsa Rashi says, Mamash, I want to finish a mesechta, but then I start thinking, how's it going to work out? What's my strategy be? And what if my chavrusa doesn't come? What if I'm tired, and then I go late, and my shachas, and my kid, and schlepping, carpool, right? That's yetzer hara. And that's where he takes you down. That's his entry point, and that's where he is able to make anyone collapse. Anyone feel like that? Anyone? Right? This is mamash life, and that's what Rashi's saying. So this feeling, letting the yetzer hara creep in and take us down, destroys us both, not only in gashmis but even in ruchnias. Yeah, fine. So we established that. Let me ask you a question. What's the pshat? Why is that? Hashem is in control of everything, and Hashem made the yetzer hara. So why is it that if we let the yetzer hara creep in, like, okay, it's natural. Like, we want to strategize, we want to make things work out, we want to succeed. If we're in a business venture, we're going into a deal, we're trying to finish a mesechta, shouldn't we strategize? Shouldn't we think about it? Shouldn't we try to forecast all the difficulties and the challenges that are going to come? So, what's the answer? Says the Mari Yecheskel. There's a Pirish. And there's a little bit of a built up, a little bit of a put this together. HaKadosh Baruch Hu einem mezamel la'adam es tzrachav b'derech shechashav ha'adam shkiyeh elav. Hashem doesn't give success. Hashem doesn't fork out on a golden platter success in the way you want it. Hashem wants us to rely on Him. If the thing you want just comes, here it is, in golden platter. You want to be a construction guy, you want to be a cabinet guy, you want to sell fruit platters, you want to be a real estate guy, nursing home, maybe whatever. That's what we want to do. Hashem say here, right? It doesn't work like that. We have to daven, we have to fail, and it goes shach, and it's shver, and we have bad days, and we have those X days and the dark days. What do we call it? right? And it's hard. We try again, and then we daven, and then we have bitachon, and we have to mechazek ourselves, and then something else comes up, and then a closed door, and right? It's a merry-go-round until we hopefully try to find something, right? This is what we go through. But what's the reason? Because Hashem doesn't want one thing, both in ruchnius and in gashmis. If it goes according to the way we strategize, we want it to, a person is going to come to say, the famous words, it's my koich, it's my strength, it's my investment, it's all my strategizing, right? All boils down to bitachon. And says the Mari Cheskel that even for ruchnius, Hashem wants us to exercise and to test ourselves how strong we're willing to go. That even in ruchnius, when I say, 13 days I'm going to finish Haris, 13 days I'm going to do this, I'm going to finish Chumash Rashi this year with all my charts and my strategies, Hashem says, Yom, take it day by day, buddy. Take it one day at a time. Climb the mountain. Every day is hard. And don't worry, was vet sein. Don't worry, it's going to be. Take it day by day. So even in ruchnius, where we're trying to do the right thing, sometimes Hashem gives us resistance, Hashem gives us pushback. Why? So we don't see it. Even in ruchnius, it's koich v'etzim. Everything is v'siyata d'shmaya. Clear? So what do we see from here? What's the side of here? And just to add on one more thing, and then we're going to get to the point. We're just building up a binyan over here. There's a Gemara in Brachas. The Gemara in Brachas, Daf, Lamed Beis Amud Beis, says, Hanichnas l'iyun tefillah, is also very negea for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Soif boli de kav lev. That a person who is ma'ayin in tefillah, which means he examines and he gets down to the nitty-gritties of davening. You ever heard of such halacha? You're not allowed to do that. The Shulchan Aruch paskins, you're not allowed to be ma'ayin b'tefillah. You can't analyze, you can't micro-analyze and ask too much and get too pratistic in your tefillahs. Why? Because if you do so, you're going to have a very tall order for Kadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is not going to deliver everything. Hashem's not a gumball machine. Hashem's not one of those crane things you put into one of his centers, you get the bunny from the machine. That's not how it works. There's a relationship, and Hashem wants us, so we need to ask and beseech and implore and shtaltzu and bitachon and get hit down and then get back up. It's a binyan v'stira. This is the grind of life, and therefore it says the Gemara in Brachas that, and Rashi and Taisus explain that if we come to Hashem with too much, we come with iyun tefillah and every last thing on our bucket list, right? That's usher to do because we're going to walk away not satisfied, and that's ultimately instead of tefillah being a conduit and being and bringing on more kvei shemaim and more connectivity to Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's going to end up biting us because we're not going to be happy. We're going to walk away feeling depleted, and we put in so much. And look, Hashem, I deposited my whole entire list, and you give me back 2 things out of 100. So the Gemara says you can't do that. Why? Again, the same idea over here, which is when it gets too nitty gritty, too granular, we end up hurting. We end up showing Hashem that we don't really believe in you, that you don't have the full picture. That's what we're down to. That's what we're putting out. We're establishing that when there's too much asking, when there's too much strategizing, you're showing Hashem, I can't take it day by day. Everything has to be mapped out and perfect. And Hashem says, I'm going to give you resistance. Hashem says, like we see in the Gemara from Ula, that machshava, that thinking about too much, even in the Dvar Torah, is going to end up hurting you. And we see that in B'tefillah, we see that trying too much and examining our tefillah, we come to Rosh Hashanah and we start asking Hashem for health and achas and parnasa, and that Monday should go, and Tuesdays and my business. Hashem, and refu and parnasa and zivug and children and nachas and my kid should do good on his test and the day, it could be endless. Don't do that because you're going to end up stepping kavyochal on Hashem's toes, and Hashem's not going to be able to deliver day by day. This is called dimyan. When we conjure up, when we have too much expectations, this is dimyan. When we imagine the utopian world, whether it's for a ruchnis or a gashmis, this is called dimyan. This is called making a utopian world where we think we belong, where we should be. We have the plan, everything's mapped out, and Hashem does not like that. Hashem doesn't like that. Zok de ben Ish Chai, taking all this, plugging it back into the parsha. Look at the words of the pasuk. Ki sivne bayis chadash. What's the bias? Not just the regular house, not just the revamp, not just purchasing a new house. So you have to put up a mica. You have to worry that someone's chas v'shalom going to die. Ki sivne bayis chadash. When you have a new idea, when a new idea comes to your head, your bias, the Kabbalah, the Sifrei Kabbalah calls your head, your moyach is the bias. It's the top of the house, right? It's the top. We're a binyan, right? Adam is a binyan. The bias is the brain, is the head. And kisivne bias chodesh, when your head starts to think of a bias, building a new venture, whether it's in ruchnius or whether it's in gashmius, you have this new idea, bias chodesh. Vasisa maka ligagecha. The gag refers to the brain. Okay, you have the bias is the whole body, and the gag is your brain. Make a mica for your brain. Contain it, neutralize it. Don't let the yetzer with all of his questions and what's going to be and how's this going to work out. Don't let that take you over. Don't let that control you. Vasisa mica ligagecha. Make a mica for your brain, for your gag. Why? Mica ligagecha. V'leitasim damim b'veisecha. Don't let damim, the Zakta ben Ishchai, that damim is dimyon. Because what's going to happen? V'leisasim dam b'veisecha. Don't let the dam, the dimyon, don't let that infiltrate and take over your beisacha, your mind, your brain. Why? Ki yipol hanoifim menu, the pasuk says, because the person's going to fall. But it says the Ben Ishchai, no, it's more than just the other person's going to fall. It's you're going to fall. Because when you test Hashem, and when you come with all your big plans, and all your strategies, and how everything's going to work, and micro-analyzing, and you're in the driver's seat, then ultimately it's ki yipol hanoifim mimenu. Then this person, which is you, which is us, coming with these, ultimately is noifel mimenu. It's going to fall. It's not going to pan out. And that's what the Ben Ishchai is saying is the message of this pasuk. Fire? Just to end off. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to end off strong. Says the Ben Ishchai. A mashal. He writes this in his sefer. He says you have a guy carrying a basket of 1,000 unhatched eggs. And he wants to go to the marketplace to sell these eggs. And on the way, he starts cheshboning to himself, wait 1 second, I have 1,000 eggs, they're unhatched, why am I going to sell them? Let me take them back home, I'll let them all hatch, I'll have 1,000 chicks, and those 1,000 chicks are going to lay many more thousands of eggs, I'll be a millionaire. I'm going to have thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of eggs. And as he's walking closer to the marketplace, he has this whole cheshbon in his head, and he's balancing all the eggs on his head, and he has this cheshbon, oh my gosh, I could become a millionaire. And after that, I'm not going to be schlepping to the marketplace anymore. I'm going to be next to the king. I'm going to be the misharis. And eventually, he says, you know what, I'm going to take a turn, go back home. And as he takes a turn, what happens? The eggs fall. Zakta ben Ishchai. We can have plans, we can strategize, we can think we have the best ideas of how to make it. And if you're on the way, if you're doing something, if Hashem seems this is the right decision, don't be an ober chacham, don't get into anything can fall, Hashem could do anything. We start strategizing, well, Hashem gave me an opportunity to make money now. But you know what, let me contort, let me shtup Hashem into a box, let me get my way. I'm going to go back. That's already thinking too far ahead of the game. That's already saying I'm driving. And everything could fall flat. He should have went and sold the eggs, be happy with his profit, and Hashem will give him the next lead. Hashem will figure it out, give him the next contact. But instead, everything goes flat, everything fell. And that's the yisoid. Contain those thoughts. Be happy with those base hits. When Hashem is giving you something, take it, besimcha, and say thank you. What's going to happen after? Hashem's going to take care. Hashem's going to figure it out. That's going into Rosh Hashanah, realizing Hashem's the melech. Realizing Hashem is endless, Hashem is infinite, and when we think, wait, I have one deal now, but if I save this, Hashem's like, don't start controlling me. I got this. I'm the king. I can do it. Don't doubt my koyach. Don't doubt my kingship. Don't doubt my malucha. I care about you more than anything. That's Rosh Hashanah. That's the yisoid of this pasuk. When our thoughts start to explode and we start wondering and we start stretching over like silly putty, Hashem says, slow down. Because then you're going to fall. What's the strategy? What should you do? Bitachon. Realize Hashem is the melech. Realize Hashem loves us more than anything. And with that, Hashem should give us all bracha, hatzlacha, arbli dai. I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.